Welcome back to my animal education series. Today I'm at the St. Louis Zoo and I thought I'll take some time to tell you guys about the Spekes Gazelle. And I do apologize for any background noise, whether it be wind or the barking dog in the background. But I wanted to do this one in front of the enclosure, so here we are. So the Spekes Gazelle can be found in small regions of Somalia and Ethiopia. I can put a graphic right here to show you guys the natural range. These gazelles were named after John Hannon Speke, who was a British explorer who went to Central Africa in the mid-1800s. And he was trying to find the source of the Nile River, but ended up being credited for the discovery of several animal species along with the gazelle. And also in the background, if you hear some sort of squealing from over there, that's the Babirusas from last week's episode. And even though it sounds like they're dying, they're just really excited about being fed, which I would too. I love food. But back to the Spekes Gazelle. The Spekes Gazelle is one of the smallest gazelle species on the planet, and they only are about 2 feet tall, and the males can get up to 40 pounds and the females get about to about 35 pounds. This is only roughly the size of a medium-sized dog. They're really loud this morning. Like a lot of animals in the savannah, they typically have a light brown or a tan coloration and a white underbelly. This helps them blend into the tall, dry grasses of their environment. They also have a bit of a dark spot on their sides, which helps with the blending in as well. Both the male and the female will have horns, although the male's horns are typically bigger than the female's. Like other gazelles and antelope, these gazelles are no exception to the fact that they are grazers. These guys will eat grasses, shrubs, and other plants on the savanna. And they've even been found grazing with domesticated cattle. Also, these gazelles are extremely social. They are in small groups of up to 12 individuals, and sometimes when food is scarce, they will get together in a larger herd. And these gazelles have 2 herd types. They have the dominant male and his harem, and then they got the bachelor group, which is just all males. So within a harem, the dominant male just kind of keeps the group within his territorial range, which is up to like 2 square miles. And then really the females kind of dictate where they go and look for food. These gazelles have a gestation period of 6 months and give birth to their calves, and their calves are only about 2.5 to 3 pounds at birth. Granted, they don't weigh a whole lot when they're adults, and they definitely don't weigh a whole lot when they're puny. So like our white-tailed deer here in the States, these baby gazelles will just kind of sit motionless in the grass and wait for their mom to come by while they're nursing. And they'll just sit there completely still, sometimes for hours, and then the mom will come back, and then they'll get ready to feed again, and then they'll hide while mom goes out and does her thing. And as you can imagine, being a small animal like this, you are prey to a lot of animals. Pretty much everything that is a predator on the savannah will eat these things because they're tiny. So these things will fall prey to wild dogs, leopards, hyenas, lions, eagles, vultures sometimes, even like large snakes like the African rock python. Like I've seen a large African rock python, that's definitely an easy meal for it. Unfortunately, the IUCN has these gazelles labeled as endangered out in the wild. Their area that they once roamed has been subject to cattle and goat grazing, and also hunting and droughts have brought the downfall of this gazelle species, which unfortunately is a really common story with a lot of our planet's wildlife. Like, look at this little dude, he's so cute, he's so little. But there's a couple other more adaptations that these animals have. So I already mentioned that their unique coloration that helps them blend into the tall, dry grasses of their environment, but they also have a very large nose. So if you get a good look at their face, which you can see on this sign a bit better, they have this really big nose which helps increase the volume of their alarm calls, which I'm definitely going to Google later because it says it's funny sounding, so I had to look it up. And they also have the ability to go a very long period of time without water, since they get a lot of their hydration from the plants that they eat. These gazelles can live up to 12 years of age, and like every other animal in captivity, they typically live a bit longer in captivity. And you can find the Spekes Gazelle in the Antelope Yards portion of the St. Louis Zoo. And over here we have the Babirusa as well, that you definitely heard throughout the whole video, because he's been screaming like a banshee the entire time. But that's what I really like about this area. They just have a variety of animals, and they got 2 enclosures with the Spekes Gazelle, and they have 2 enclosures for the Babirusa. So like, Babirusa is not a pretty animal, but I really like seeing them because they're just so weird looking. And the Spekes Gazelle, as I mentioned before, they're just so dang cute and little. They just have to stop by and see them all the time. But thank you guys so much for watching this week's video. Don't forget to leave a big thumbs up down below, subscribe to my channel, and as always, I'll see you next week.